I recently read a little bit about Jason Blum from Blumhouse, that he was in pain over the performance of M3GAN 2.0. That basically he thought he could do anything with this property. He could turn it into a sci-fi. He could take a chance and just do something completely original. But unfortunately, it did not do well in the box office. So is this a cause for concern in Hollywood? It seems like as time goes on, we're just getting more sequels, more remakes, more MCU, DCU films, and a lot less originality. If you go back to the 80s and the 90s, obviously we have so many original blockbusters, but then if you go into the last 15 years, I have trouble even thinking of an original big budget blockbuster. And I know Blumhouse isn't a big budget studio, but still they can make films that are out of this world, that are very imaginative. And M3GAN 2.0 was one of those. So what is the problem here? Is Blumhouse going to stop taking risks when it comes to new properties? Obviously we have FNAF 2 coming out, we have The Black Phone 2, we have more sequels from Blumhouse. And it's kind of like I feel like a big problem. A lot of the magic is lost when we have no originality in Hollywood. And now, obviously, small indie studios, we usually get 100% originality in those. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the bigger budget, 10, 20 million, 100, 300 million dollar box office. And we all know back in the day, studios had the courage to make original films because if it failed in the theaters, at least they would get DVD sales, DVD rentals, and that would help boost the profit and, make a film successful, even if it failed in the box office. But obviously, since streaming has come along, DVD sales, DVD rentals, Blu-ray, I should say, have plummeted, and studios can't rely on that anymore. And I realized, even with M3GAN 2.0, myself, I didn't catch it immediately in theaters. I saw like every single movie that's in the theater right now. And M3GAN 2.0 was just sitting there. And in my head before that, I was thinking, I'll just wait a couple months for M3GAN 2.0 to come on Peacock. It's going to be on Peacock for sure, very fast. These things happen very fast. They go to streaming like right away. But I think that's a large part of the problem is back in the day, you had to wait like 6 months, a year, even more just for it to get to the DVD. Sometimes a movie would be in the theater for 6 months or a year if it was doing really well. That'll never happen again. And then once it was on DVD, you had to get it then because you had to wait years for it to come out for free, on cable television. And I feel like that process has been cut down a lot in modern day. A movie's in the theater for a couple months. Boom, straight to streaming. And we still pay for streaming, but it's like the same way we paid for cable. It shouldn't go straight to streaming. It should go straight to streaming in 3, 4, 5 years, right? It should go to DVD and be able to rent, stream rent, at least, for at least the first 6 months or a year. But we've gotten, as a society, so used to instant satisfaction, instant gratification with these TikToks and these YouTube shorts just very, very fast. And I don't know why the studio's just kind of like, yeah, we'll just put all our stuff out there right away on streaming. Why aren't we waiting? If the audience knows that if they want to see M3GAN 2.0, they have to wait at least 3 or 4 years for it to come to streaming, maybe they'll be more willing to go to the theater. Maybe they'd be more willing to rent it when it's available for rent online. So I think the studios have really shot themselves in the foot when they all started up their own streaming company. It was fine if it was just Netflix, but everybody wanted a little piece of the pie. But then you got to get your content on there, and then everybody puts out their new stuff on their own streaming platforms, and they've kind of killed themselves in a way. Because nobody's going to really want to go every single week, multiple times a week like I do, to go watch a movie in a theater, right? It gets expensive. Why not wait just a couple months? In my mind, I was like, why not wait just a couple months to see M3GAN 2 when it's on streaming? And I literally was going to until I read this interview. And I was like, I wanted to know, is the problem M3GAN 2.0, the movie, or is the problem this whole idea that I can watch this really, really soon after release? I mean, sometimes it's like within a month these movies are out. Sometimes it's the same day now, especially with Blumhouse, Peacock. They did it with Five Nights at Freddy's, literally same day. I don't understand why they are doing this. why they're shooting themselves in the foot. Because if you don't have this wait time, if you don't make people want to go see it in the theaters, if you don't make it so it's even a viable option for renting or buying, then people are just going to wait until it's for basically free. They're already paying for all these streaming platforms. And that kind of makes it so you can't make original films anymore, because why take a chance to watch an original film when you're already at home? You can watch something you already know, you're familiar, you know you'll like, you don't have to waste time, you don't have to waste money, which is especially true when you have to rent or go to the movie. So I feel like in a lot of ways, originality in Hollywood is dying. People aren't going to the theater to see original movies because at least I can see it at home for free and take the chance then, when it's at home for free. You know, when it's on Peacock, I can see M3GAN 2.0. I'm already paying for Peacock. So it's just a really big shot in the foot that studios created their own streaming platforms, and now they can't create original movies. And to studios, does it even matter anymore? Remakes make so much money. Lilo and Stitch made almost $1 billion. There's so much money in remakes. There's so much money in sequels. Jurassic World, it wasn't the best. I mean, it was better. The Rebirth was better than the last ones, but going on $1 billion. So why even bother making original films when you know they don't necessarily do good in the box office? They historically never had. It wasn't until rentals and DVDs that they did really good. But if you're not even going to take that chances and you're not making money from it streaming, why even make original programming when you can make billions of dollars doing this? And in the end, I think that's fine short term, you know. But eventually, I don't know, audiences are going to get tired of sequels, of remakes. There aren't going to be any more remakes unless we go another 20 years, go back and do a reimagining, a grittier version of Frozen and The Lion King, or I don't even know. Is originality dead in Hollywood? And it scares me when Jason Blum says he's in pain because of the box office performance of M3GAN 2. Is he not going to take chances anymore on films with this much originality? I love that he took a chance to turn M3GAN 2.0 into something else. But if he's feeling pain about it, a studio head feeling pain about, hey, we took a chance and it didn't really work out and I don't like it, I don't want to feel pain anymore, it's scary. It's scary that originality might be dead and this might be their own fault and they might not come back to it. So, wasn't M3GAN 2.0's fault. I saw the film and I gotta say, I did decently like the first M3GAN, but this one was kind of bad. It wasn't really that good. I felt it was very, very slow. There was a lot of setup. Was it necessary for the setup? I guess, but I feel like it could have been sped up and done in a different way. It was also not as funny as the first movie. A lot of the character in the first movie came from M3GAN themselves. And there are a few moments in M3GAN 2.0 where it's like, yeah, M3GAN really kills it again, but it's a lot of the same, and it's just not enough. And I feel like a major problem is, I don't know, I just thought this was a rated R movie for some reason. And while watching this, I felt like I was watching a Disney Channel movie. There were some parts where it's like, this is definitely for children. What? Blumhouse? Huh? I'm so confused. It was like almost no effort was kind of put into some parts of the film. It just felt very lazy. It felt like it was trying to be funny, but obviously the humor is very surface level. You know, you don't have to like think about it. It's like, haha, you slipped. I don't know. It was just, it's very comical how bad it was. I did enjoy the film at the end of the day. And I think a movie like this, I'm going to have to change my rating system. Usually I would give it like 3 out of 5 stars, but that seems like a lot. But if I give it 5 out of 10, okay. I think that seems more accurate. You know, 5 out of 10 stars. It was a very middle of the road, like, whatever. They did take a huge chance, and I did appreciate the chance they took, but it just wasn't executed well enough, and it just felt like it was for children. It felt so boring in the first half. Yeah, it was kind of fun when they started getting to like the main plot, the main confrontation, but just getting there was a pain. There's not anything to talk about, you know, your friends with, because word of mouth is really how movies very much explode in the box office when it's an original film. Obviously, when it comes to sequels and remakes, the word of mouth has already been done because it's already been popular. People have already talked about it. So you get a remake or a sequel. Hey, I know that, we talked about that, and then you want to go see it. But when it comes to original movies in the box office, you need the word of mouth. Advertising can only get you so far. It can get the hardcore moviegoers into the seats, but they got to go tell more people. And I just feel like not telling anybody about this film. Like, why? You know, there's a couple good moments. Wait for it to come to Peacock. You know, wait to watch it for free because it's going to be there in a few months anyway. So I feel like that's a large problem. It wasn't necessarily, oh, they took a chance, nobody wants originality. It's more, yeah, this movie wasn't that great. But I do appreciate Jason Blum taking a chance, trying to change it. Take more chances. Don't stop taking chances in Hollywood, please. I love original movies. I love the blockbuster. Originality and blockbusters go together. That's my favorite. So I'm a little bit scared. Jason Blum feels pain. I'm a little bit scared that originality is almost out the door. It's almost done in Hollywood. And it's going to be up to like indie filmmakers to try their best to compete with the production of these big blockbusters. So anyways, that's my talk. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.